Welcome to the Chamber Vibes podcast with your host, Brittany Timmons, the Greater Guthrie Chamber of Commerce CEO and President. In this podcast, you will hear from local guests who will discuss topics such as leadership, small business, and our vibrant community. You'll also hear success stories and tips from amazing local businesses, dive into important news, meet community leaders, and find out how you can get involved in our community. From the Second Banana Media Studios in beautiful and historic downtown Guthrie, America, here is Brittany Timmons.
Hello again, everyone. This is Brittany with the Guthrie Chamber, and it is time again for Chamber Vibes. I am always excited, but excited today to introduce my guest for today's Chamber Vibes. I have Mr. Laverne Downing, President of Guthrie's BancFirst. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it very much, Brittany.
I'm excited to have you. So, BancFirst, obviously, the bank has been here for a long time, right?
A long time.
A long time. So how long? How long is long?
Well, actually, we are the oldest bank in Oklahoma.
Right.
Where we're at 202 West Oklahoma, was the original site of the bank in April 22nd, 1889 during the land run. There was a bank put there. Two gentlemen from Kansas put that bank there. And there's been a bank there ever since.
Wow.
And that's where we are today.
That's amazing. So when did it become BancFirst officially?
Well, 100 years after the run, in 1989, Gene Rainbow led a group of 7 banks, community banks, Guthrie being one of them, and formed BancFirst.
Okay.
And so roughly 100 years after the land run, BancFirst was formed.
Okay.
And the bank that was there prior to BancFirst was First National Bank of Guthrie.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
much history right there
Yeah.
in that building. So the vault and
Well,
things like that, is it original?
Well, actually, the building has not been there since 1889.
Oh, okay.
The structure that was put there was somewhat of a temporary structure, and then they built another structure. But in 1923 is when this building was built there. And actually, the back half of the bank is the oldest part of the bank. It was built to move all the banking operations into there while the main lobby of the bank was being built. And so, 1923 is when that bank was built there.
Still, like, tons of history.
Yeah,
Almost 100 years since that.
Yeah.
Or 2022.
That's right. That's
Yes.
right.
Okay, very neat. So how long have you been with BancFirst?
Well, I've been with BancFirst since 1989. I've been
Okay.
with BancFirst 33 years.
Awesome.
So,
And then have you been in the Guthrie location the whole time? or-
No, actually I was in Hugo for 7 years.
Okay.
And then in 1996, I came to Guthrie.
Okay, awesome. And then Guthrie's been home
At
ever since?
Guthrie has been home ever since,
Awesome.
yes.
Very cool. Well, you and I were kind of talking about this before, but obviously banking needs banking services. But I always like to find, every business, banks, every business has their niche thing, their niche product, or their service that they feel like they do the best, or, very, very well. So what do you feel like that is for BancFirst?
Well, BancFirst overall really does all of it extremely well. And just for instance, we've been the largest SBA lender in the state of Oklahoma for approximately 25 years.
Wow.
And so we've been very successful in that market. BancFirst Guthrie does a lot of real estate lending.
Okay.
We're very heavy in real estate, both consumer residential and commercial.
Okay.
And so, but we also have a wide spectrum of treasury management products, the online banking, all of the technological aspects of banking. We do all of that, and we feel like we have some other services that are very, very good as well. For instance, we have a trust department that manages quite a few accounts, and probably dollar-wise, probably in the $5, $6, $7 billion range, something like that. And so we do that very, very well. And then mortgage lending, that's
One of your fortes.
yeah, because of course, when you're buying a home, you're looking for a fixed rate loan if you
Sure.
can. Getting a little harder to do as far as where the interest rates are going now, but it's still when you look historically at interest rates, mortgage loans are still very reasonably priced. It just
Right.
doesn't seem like it based upon the last 15 years of history.
Sure.
But BancFirst is very strong in mortgage lending. So, yeah.
Well, and I personally think you have one of the friendliest staff.
Well, thank you, thank you. We work
Yes.
very hard on that.
Yes.
Because for us, our customers, our community, it's everything. So,
Yes, well, and you guys definitely display that for sure. So you being in banking or with BancFirst for 33 years, you said, I guess you have seen just how banking has evolved, with technological advances and things like that. So I'm sure that's been interesting throughout your career to constantly have to learn new things.
well, yeah, exactly. I mean, and you do have to learn new things because, what was important 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 25 years ago, those kind of change out and other things become important. For instance, the mobile app on phones for
Right.
banking.
Right.
Just a few years ago, nobody really thought that much about it. And now you can actually deposit a check with your phone.
Yes.
Well, if you would have asked me 25 years ago,
You said no way.
I said, that won't happen.
Right.
But it has happened. And so, yeah, we've seen a lot of changes.
Right, so I guess you're constantly having to learn and get training and things like that, so.
Oh, yeah,
your
yeah,
industry.
yeah. Training is a constant thing that, and it's actually scheduled on a routine basis for all of our staff, so,
Okay,
yeah.
that's good. Well, and pretty much every podcast so far, we've covered this, because I feel like it's important to talk about, but COVID. What did that look like for you guys as far as how you guys had to think quick and make changes, and then just, I'm sure the amount of calls you received and everything like that. Very challenging time.
Yeah, we did have to make a lot of changes. The one thing that we did decide, though, that we were going to do, we were going to stay open. And so we did. But we put in all of the protective barriers in the bank. We had the social distancing guidelines set up. We monitored how many people were in the bank building.
Okay.
And of course, we wore masks. And then, we followed the CDC and the state guidelines every time they came out with their recommendations or guidelines on how we should be responding at that particular time. We followed them. But we stayed open the whole time.
Right, because so you never were shut down.
No,
You were considered what was the list, the essential.
Yeah.
Essential
Yes,
businesses,
yes.
which we learned quickly. Obviously, banking comes to the top of my mind, but we learned quickly there was a lot. There was a lot of industries that I was like, oh, I wouldn't have thought about that.
Right.
And then you look at that list that they put out, the state puts out, and say, okay, these industries can remain open. It was kind of mind blowing, like how many different industries that
We're considered
were
essential.
considered
Yeah,
essential, right?
yeah.
Like I said, banking kind of an obvious one, I think, but some others, it was crazy. So did you guys see, obviously, you were doing a lot of PPP loans and things
We-
like that, had to learn all of that?
Locally, we did a lot of PPP loans, and bank-wide throughout the state of Oklahoma,
Right.
we did a lot of PPP loans. In fact, we dedicated a number of people to that company-wide to do just PPP type stuff. And then, of course, at the local level, we were working with that all the time. And it required, after-hours type work, some
Sure.
weekend work, that type of thing,
Right.
because this all happened so quickly.
So quick.
And the rules were coming out, just in time. And so, yeah, it really, for about 18, 24 months, made us have to really, keep the gears turning pretty
Right.
fast.
Well, and I can just imagine, how terrifying it was, even just with doing what I do with the chamber. We have businesses calling, I need help. I don't know how to begin to do, apply for PPP, or
Right.
what do I do about this? What do I do about this? And so we had to all quickly think fast and work hard together to make things happen. So I can just imagine. I know I felt crazy, and I was brand new to doing what I do. So started right in, at the beginning of the pandemic. So I can only imagine what you and your staff kind of went through. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger, is what they say. So I feel like if we all can get through, running our businesses and organizations, then surely we can face anything that comes our way now.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we were tested, and that testing makes you just stronger and more viable to handle the next thing that comes along. So.
Right, absolutely. Well, now let's get to a more fun topic, because I know COVID is COVID, but like I said, I think it's been interesting to hear from our different businesses of how they got through that, because it's important to look back and say, okay, this is what we did well, this is what we didn't do well, these are the things we now do permanently, because of the pandemic, things like that. So I always like to ask that question, because I know it was a challenging time that we've all worked through and still are working through, different challenges. So being a part of the Guthrie community, what, I know obviously you said, first bank here in Guthrie, but just since you've been there and things like that, like what are some of the things that you love about being in Guthrie?
Some of the things, well.
I know, loaded question.
It really is. I mean, the United Way was probably just doing so-so when I first came to Guthrie.
Okay.
And, but shortly after that, it really started to pick up. And today, the United Way has become very, very viable. All the businesses are engaged, the community's engaged. And so the bank's been very active in the United Way. And the chamber. I actually served on the chamber board a few terms in my earlier years here, and we've had other bank staff be on the chamber board as well. In fact, we currently have Duke Nunley on the board.
He's awesome.
And
Shout out to Duke.
Yeah,
He's actually serving as one of our co-vice chairmen. So,
we're very
happy to have.
So we try to be involved in all the service organizations. We support the schools, what they're doing when it comes to whether it's athletics, livestock shows, 4-H, FFA, music. We always have Bill Perring's group come and sing for us at Christmas time in the bank. That's a special time. And then you said what's, some of the other things I love about Guthrie. Well, the buildings and this downtown area, this historical district.
Oh my goodness. I know. Now I'm the same. I'm in part of the historic district too with the chamber, and I just love it. Love walking out of my office every day.
So
pretty.
And it's really pretty neat, because when you step out of the building, walk across the street or a couple blocks down the street, you're always seeing people that you know.
Yes.
And
hey.
Yeah. So
even if it's someone in their car, I've noticed. I'm like, hey, let me go by real quick. And you're
or somebody honks at you,
know.
and then
Yes.
So anyway, that's really neat too.
Yes, I agree. Very, very friendly community. And it's fun to be downtown,
Yeah,
and it's been fun. I know, even just the short time I've been here, just all the changes, like we're keeping the old with the new. We have new businesses like the barber shop and the mercantile, and businesses like that have popped up, and it's been great to see those buildings kind of come back alive.
Right.
So that's exciting. So I know that you guys are such a huge community supporter. You guys sponsor as much as you can, and do as much as you can. Don't you have someone that serves on almost all the civic groups?
Yeah, I think we have somebody in every service organization and civic group throughout the community. And you're right, we try to sponsor all of those activities. So not only with our time, but financially.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. I feel like everything I've gone to or attended, there's someone from BancFirst there. Like you said, whether it's at the school foundation or United Way or Lions Club, Rotary, things like that. So yes, you guys are super involved, and it's awesome. So I know we're tooting your horn here. I like that. That's what this is all about. What are some of the awards that BancFirst has received? I know there's been a few in the last year or so, and so I'd kind of like to highlight those.
Well, Bank Director Magazine has named BancFirst in their top 20 or 25 banks here consecutively for the last 15 years or so. Forbes magazine for 2022 recognized BancFirst as the best Oklahoma bank. So,
Huge.
yeah, and so yeah, we've received a lot of awards, and we're proud of that. But we give credit to the customer base and the communities we're in. I mean, they're very supportive of us, and so that, you know, it's one of those things that we each help each other.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah, we pour in and also take and give, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you guys are such great examples of that. So with, and you know, this isn't something I asked you before, so it's okay if you don't have an answer that pops up quick, but this is the things that come to my head, Laverne, so you gotta roll with it now.
Okay.
Great.
Okay.
What are you gonna say? No, so since you've been doing what you do for such a long time, which I think is an admirable, and I just respect that so much, that you have been in the same industry, the same business, you know, just growing and evolving. Do you have a good customer story, like a favorite customer story or something that maybe sticks out to you? Like maybe someone that you've helped or something, I don't know.
Favorite customer story.
I know. I'm sure it's an adventure every day, but I don't know. That
Well,
might be
I really couldn't pick a favorite one.
Okay.
I mean, there are a lot of stories
Sure.
that have been interesting over the years. One that kind of just comes to mind is one of the best customers that we've had in the bank here for quite a few years now. I actually met down at the courthouse at a sheriff's sale of all places.
Oh, okay.
And that's how we got started with our banking relationship. So, but there are a lot
I know,
of
and that's
those.
that's another
Yeah.
loaded question, but I just thought, you know, and so, yeah, I mean, you never know who you're talking to and what kind of difference that you can make, just having conversations, you know, and so like I said, at a
Yeah.
sheriff's sale, and
Yeah.
now you said a longtime customer?
Yeah, oh,
20
yeah,
years?
yeah,
That's cool.
yeah.
That's awesome. Well, I just want to thank you for your time today, and thank you for all that BancFirst does. I know we could probably go on and on of the different ways that you all serve, but there's just no doubt in anyone's mind how much that you guys care.
Well,
about this
thank you very
community.
much. Thank you.
And congratulations on those awards. That's amazing.
Well,
And
thank you.
so,
Thank
yes.
you.
So, what is the best way? I mean, obviously, we mentioned your address earlier. You're right in the historic downtown, across from the post office at First in Oklahoma. Did I get that right?
Yeah, right. First,
First in
yep,
Oklahoma?
First in Oklahoma
Yes.
Avenue.
So, what are your hours there at the bank if people want to walk in?
Well, the main bank is open from 9 to 4, Monday through Friday.
Okay.
And the drive-through is
you
open.
mention the drive-thru?
Yeah, and the drive-through over on North Division, 224 North Division, is open from 7 to 6, and from 8 to 12 on Saturdays. Yeah,
Okay, great.
yeah.
Yes. So, yeah, that's right. I was like, when you talk about, you have two locations.
Yeah.
The drive-through too, so, and the walk-in location. So, obviously you're online, you know, Facebook, you guys have a page on there.
Right, right.
So, really just, people just need to call or walk in if they have questions, or jump online,
Yeah.
things like that.
Yeah, we're available by phone, email. Our website's bancfirst.bank, and yeah, really any way that you can think of to get a hold of us,
Yes.
we're available.
Yes. Okay, awesome. Well, is there anything else you want to add that I may not have covered? Anything else about the
Well,
bank, or-
no, I mean, just thank you for having me. Our staff here in Guthrie is really proud to be here. We love to serve the community. We love to see people come in every day. It's, you know, banking is a relationship thing.
Absolutely.
And so even though technology has become big,
Right.
you know, one-on-one time with people, face-to-face, it's still very, very important. So,
Right. That's why I highly recommend going in and saying hi. Because
Yeah.
like I said, I just can walk in that lobby and feel greeted and loved and all the things.
yeah,
So,
yeah. We love to have our customers come see us.
yes, for sure. So if you have not met the staff at BancFirst, go in and say hi. I did just think of something else. before
Okay.
we close. Let's talk about your chamber coffee every year, the week of 89ers.
Oh,
That's a big
yes,
deal.
yes,
We
that
gotta
is-
cover that, Laverne.
That
Yes.
is a big deal.
Sometimes I feel like I should make the list, and other times I
That's been a tradition
Yes.
for
How long?
probably, well, I'm not sure because it was going on before I came, but I'm going to say probably 40 to 50 years.
Right.
That we have always had the chamber coffee during 89ers week
Yes.
at the bank. And, you know, we have the queen and the queen in waiting come and introduce them. Many times we've had live entertainment. We try to have the food smorgasbord is,
Yes.
the best that's possible to have. And we've had a lot of good people come and see that. And usually we have pretty big crowds. Now, with COVID,
I bet this year we had 70 people.
yeah,
It
I
was
would
pretty packed
say.
in there. Yeah.
But with COVID, when we first decided that we could have it again, I think
Yes.
we laid out 1 year, I think.
Yes.
For the first time, we had it outside in the street,
Yes.
and that turned out to be
It did.
very,
It did.
very successful.
Yes.
So COVID made us change a lot of things,
Sure.
but we adapt and
Yes.
it works. But we love having that chamber coffee.
It is awesome. And I
Yeah.
know one thing you guys do that's really neat is we get to auction off the Legion gets to auction off the
89er button. Yes.
If you have not seen them, they're amazing. Interbank has several hanging up because they try to win those. It kind of becomes a bidding war of
Yeah.
who gets the buttons.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we have more than Interbank.
Okay. All right, Brian, if you're listening, our Interbank friend. Yeah, there you go. Yes,
But
and
we
so-
do. We love having the buttons. Of
Those
course,
are
we
so
display
neat.
those,
Yes.
during 89er week, we display those in the lobby. And, it's just interesting to see over the years how the design of those buttons and the themes for those buttons have changed and they get a lot of comment, a lot of
That's really
comment.
neat. And
Yeah.
so if you don't know what we're talking about, the 89er buttons are a collector's item, and they're a traditional button that you would wear on your shirt or wherever, like a pin. But then the button, they put it on like a piece of wood.
Yeah.
Has that always
Yeah.
been the case?
I think so. I think
Okay.
all of the buttons we have been on, a
Okay.
circular cut piece
Yeah,
of
circular
wood.
cut piece of wood, and then they have kind of a gloss finish, and it preserves the button. And then at coffee, there's a bidding war usually, and the money all goes to the Legion for 89ers.
Right, it all helps benefit
It all helps.
the Legion and 89ers and the activities that they're doing during the week. So
Yes,
yeah,
that's really special.
yeah.
So we know every year that Wednesday of 89ers is the BancFirst coffee.
Yeah,
which is what
we
do.
know that's when we're going to see
Yes.
everybody. So
And I think was it this year that you guys handed everyone little BancFirst money
Yeah,
pouches,
yeah.
and some
Yeah,
had
you
money
never-
in them?
you never know what we might give away, but we have been known to give away money.
Yeah.
So-
They'll-
Imagine that.
Yes, they'll help you house your money and save your money, and then they'll give you some money. So yes, and you always have neat gifts for the 89er queens.
Yes. We've given them 1889 silver dollars,
Yes.
and actually we've had drawings for some 1889 silver dollars at during some of those coffees. So yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Good. I'm glad we covered that one because that's a big deal for BancFirst and for us too. So anyway, well, thank you again for being my guest today on Chamber Vibes.
Well, Brittany,
thanks for all that
thank you.
and the staff do at BancFirst. We are really, really blessed to have you all.
Well, thank
So,
you.
you're welcome.
Appreciate the invitation, Brittany.
Yeah, no problem. All right,
Okay.
there you have it, Mr. Laverne with BancFirst. Hope you all have a great rest of your day, and we'll catch you next time.
Thanks for listening to the Chamber Vibes podcast from Second Banana Media Studios in beautiful downtown Guthrie, America.